All right, so if I had to pick one lens that I can use for the rest of my photo and video days, it would be this one. This is the Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter f2.8 E-mount lens if you're shooting on Sony, and I think they make other mounts too. But upon first impressions, you might look at this lens and think it's very simple, it has nothing special to it. So why such a simple lens? This lens at the time of purchase was about $800, and this is the Generation 1. I haven't even upgraded to the Generation 2. That's how good this is. So when I purchased this lens, I was a little bit wary because it was only $800, which is a fraction of the cost of the Sony branded G Master version. It's very dull. It doesn't really have anything special going on with it, but let's not judge a book by its cover and let's actually take it out for some shoots. I bought this lens 6 years ago, and even 6 years later, this is still the lens I use for everything from photography to videography. I use this basically for personal and professional work all the time. It's extremely reliable and has not let me down since. Even though it's not as fancy as some of the other lenses, it does the job. The image quality coming out of this lens is phenomenal. It's as good as, if not equivalent to this lens, which is a G Master. This is a 70 to 200 millimeter that I'm using as a B cam. We're shooting at f2.8 and the image quality looks pretty good. So with my past 6 years of using this lens, I've come across quite a number of pros and just very few cons, and I'm just gonna go through those pros and cons in hopes that it helps you make a decision, and hopefully you share some of the same experiences I do if you own this lens or if you plan on purchasing your next lens. So right off the bat, I want to talk about the cons and get those completely out of the way. The biggest downside to this is versus its more expensive counterparts, it has little to no customizational options. All it has is a lens cap covering the front, the zoom ring, a manual focus ring, and a lens cap covering the back. That's it. Another downside to this is it doesn't have any real weather sealing, meaning if you're going for an extensive outdoor shoot, you're planning on doing something out in the hot blistering sun, in the freezing cold rain, some snow, I just don't think this lens is going to survive a lot of extreme weather usage. I've taken this lens with me over to Japan when it was raining and pouring on one of the days we were there, and it did pretty well, but I would not trust taking this lens out on a flooding rainstorm. Another con that I think most people are going to find with this lens is it's not very premium feeling. It's a very simple all-around black lens that's made up of basically rubber, plastic, and metal, which is understandable considering that Tamron is trying to give you a zoom lens for this price point. So don't go into this lens thinking you're going to get something premium feeling. For what it's worth, it's very well built. With all those little cons out the way, I want to talk about all the pros because this lens has a lot more to offer than it does not have to offer. Right off the bat, this lens zooms from 28 to 75 millimeters, meaning it replaces all of those potential lenses that you might have, which is standard for most people. The biggest plus side to the lens that I should have mentioned beforehand is the price. When I bought this 6 years ago, it was $799, which is surreal when you compare it to the likes of Sony or Sigma, which is usually double, if not triple or quadruple the price of this lens. Another plus side for me is the autofocus on this lens just never misses. 99% of the time, the autofocus just works, whether you're doing photo or video. The motor is extremely quiet, so it doesn't interfere with any of your video shooting. If you're capturing live audio, if you're a photographer and you're trying to catch a lot of fast moving action, such as people running, birds flying, or animals running, or whatsoever, this lens's autofocus has been pretty darn good. The other really major plus for me that might be a con for most people is the weight. I'm a light carrier, meaning I like to carry things that aren't extremely heavy. The best part is if you're a gimbal shooter such as myself, you could put this on a gimbal and not worry about overloading the gimbal. I have a budget Feiyutech gimbal that's no longer even in circulation. It's a Gen 1 model, and I always use that in pair with this, and I've yet to run into any problems with balancing. And even if you're not a gimbal shooter, having a light lens is just convenient when you're packing it on the go. It's nice to have a lightweight lens that doesn't eat up a lot of space and doesn't weigh a lot, and if you're lugging it, the less weight is better. And I know that all of these features are great, but what you're all probably really here for is the image quality. This lens looks great. It's super sharp. It gets the colors down just right. I don't see any kind of distortions. It's as is. All in all, sharp picture quality, great autofocus, great pricing, very lightweight, fits in a gimbal, fits in a bag, fits in tight spaces. You really can't go wrong with this lens. Many times in the past and even presently, I've had the opportunity to upgrade upgrade this lens, but honestly, I don't really feel the need to. Reason being because of everything I just listed before. The image quality is great, it's very lightweight, it fits in my pocket, it fits in my bag, it fits in my carry-ons. What I'm trying to say is I think this Tamron 28 to 75 millimeter lens is just perfect for those of you who are looking to get a one and only lens. If you don't have a lot of money to blow, if you're doing this as an enthusiast, if it's your first lens, even if it's a long-term lens or you're a professional looking to get another lens, this is one of the best options you can literally get out there. So with that being said, I hope you guys found this video helpful. I know it sounds like I'm very biased towards this lens, but Tamron is not sponsoring this video in any shape, way, or form. This video is literally just dedicated to my favorite lens that I own in my kit. I had to buy this with my own hard-earned money 6 years back when I was first upgrading my entire system to full frame, and I have not had a regret since then. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you did, please do hit like, please do subscribe. And if you already own this lens, let me know what your experience has been like. And if you plan on purchasing your next lens, if it's this one, even if it's not, let me know what you're planning on purchasing and leave it down in the comments down below. Till next time, this has been your boy Fong over here, and I'm out. Peace.